Hi, Mike the MC, bringing you back another self-care video, and today's topic will be within my Catechism playlist, just going off the regular Catechism. This will be number 11 with regard to the Catechism, and so without further ado, here's what it says, and so let's get into this topic. It's going to be a good one. Section 3 of the Catechism, the aim and intended readership of this Catechism. Number 11. This Catechism aims at presenting an organic synthesis of the essential and fundamental contents of Catholic doctrine as regards both faith and morals in the light of the Second Vatican Council and the whole of the Church's tradition. Its principal sources are the sacred scriptures, the Fathers of the Church, the liturgy, and the Church's magisterium. It is intended to serve as a point of reference for the catechisms or compendia that are composed in the various countries. There are many topics that I can go through with this section of the Catechism. I'll just start off just from a very straightforward approach that the idea of the Catechism, this book, is to be a reference for others to use throughout the world. The idea that it's based off of Scripture, Magisterium, the Church Fathers, the liturgy, and then taking another step back, based off the Second Vatican Council and sacred church tradition. So, hearing all that, this is all to be a reference, this book for the world to read, to make use of. For Catholics, non-Catholics, all people, okay. So, just taking this slowly before I go into greater topics. I think this is great because when you have a reference that people can use, make it readable, but also available to the public, not just in the book, but on the PDF, audio, however you like to listen. That is a great thing to do for anybody. And I think as far as our church, the Catholic Church, trying to share that with the world, I hope it is doing a great job. But for me in this channel, I'm trying to extend a little of that through this, connecting it with self-care. How do we connect with people, communicate with others in our family? Is it through just verbal expression, through action, through the choices we make? There's a many considerations just on that topic alone as well. And so the way we communicate, the way we share and talk with others, then it jumps to the next level of this video. How do we teach the Catechism? How do we talk with our loved ones, our children, our spouses, friends, neighbors? How do we talk with other people? Are we doing so just to win the argument? Are we doing so just to be a good, authentic teacher? Like, oh, let me share this with you. And when that student doesn't reflect back what you were hoping that they would reflect, does that get underneath the skin? Does it get you irritated? Does it make you think, oh my gosh, I just wasted some time here? What's the point? Did I just waste what I was going to say? Well, you did what you could. Okay. Then comes the idea, the belief of grace, that something now happens to that listener after that day. Maybe they could think what you said and say, oh, maybe Teach was right. Maybe he, she, whoever the teacher was, maybe they had something good to say for me today. Maybe I should consider going to bed on time and waking up early. That's the beauty of the listener, the learner, taking in, accepting what you were sharing with them in that moment. Alright, now we'll jump to a greater topic with number 11. Okay, so we went from being a reference to teaching how to teach. Now with respect to how to teach, are you going to do so with tradition, change? Leading into this greater topic, there's so many words we can use. Tradition, liberal, balance. I think our church is so beautiful with the history that we have, looking at the many centuries of people that have defended the faith, have taught it. But then you look at the other side of that coin as well, with the people who wanted to go a different direction. And then you look at all the breaks in the church and say, oh, were they successful? Were they not successful? Did they help people? Did they not? I only hope that that question is answered by a greater person upstairs. But what I can share with you is this. The goal of a teacher, right, should be to elevate your student to be leaders themselves. If you're really teaching from the authentic goodness, I truly believe you're trying your best. And the person upstairs appreciates that you're trying to help people in different communities. You hear of martyrs from the faith, even from our church, how they were martyred with different communities, especially when they came to the New World in North America. Then you can argue, okay, well, their practices weren't so nice. Their practices were abusive. They mistreated the people of the Native Americans. I mean, where's the justice? I mean, where do you draw the line? And so these are great questions to reflect on. And I'm sure there were bad teachers too, but the good teachers that really tried. See, the good and the bad, coming back to humanity. That is the idea of living in a world of good and evil. Okay, it's good to have a reference, going back to the first point. Alright, how do you use that power? How do you use that reference? That is where it's a reflection on you as a teacher. How do you use your power responsibly? Now moving into this fourth later topic I want to share with you in this video. The idea of change and tradition. Are you the same today as you were when you were a day old? It's still, you were there, but obviously now, okay, depending on which age you are now, you have a beard, long hair now, maybe now you're growing bald, depending on who you are as a listener in this video. We all encounter change in our life. We all encounter experiences that affect us, okay, but we're still us, the person, me, Mike, the MC here, just being here. You see me in the different videos, different hat, different shirt. I'm still there, but I wear different things and I have a different message each time. But I'm here. In philosophy, change and permanence. Parmenides, Heraclitus. Okay. Personally, I was a fan of change. I liked Heraclitus, but I understand where Parmenides was coming to with the idea that things are permanent, that you are always there. And so what I'm trying to get into with this topic is, okay, so how do you help a community survive? Okay, we're in a house. I'm in a building right now. Okay, I'm trying to stay warm for the cold. Before that, we were living outside in nature with the fire, standing close to that to stay warm. The goal was there, but the change came to, okay, how do we help more people? How do we stay safe, but in a much better condition environment? Is it worth it to improve our condition, our systems, our ability to survive? You can connect this with the church, and it's such a great debate today. It is a huge debate today between the traditionals and the moderns. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. I'll argue that the goal will always be to bring your family, yourself, everyone to heaven. Like I was saying with the fire idea, the goal is still there to save life. And the goal should be to help everybody. Connecting with that previous point of being a teacher. Now, how do you teach that? Are you going to be aggressive and be like, oh, okay, the fire and brimstone idea? You're going to be caring and like, oh, pat on the back? I would argue it's a balance of the two. Making yourself a very dynamic teacher. Connecting that lesson to your student. With what was mentioned earlier, where the student may have not taken the point as you were bringing it up that first moment of the day in the class. But then they come back later, maybe later in life, several years, and say, wow, teach, that was a good point. Now I understand because I went through so-and-so experiences. That is the beauty of life and how it affects a person from A to B going in the trajectory. Now, I would just leave this final note with you with regard to self-care. Okay, when you grow as a person, when you want to make that change in your life, okay, there are others that have supported you along the way. Thank them for all the support they've helped you with. Okay. Now, it's your choice. Do you want to keep growing in the trajectory? What is your goal? Do you want to be the rich person? Do you want to be the contempt, a peaceful person? When you find that goal and you know where you're going, trajectory, appreciate the help and the people that have supported you along the way. That makes that journey enjoyable. And the reference, connecting it all back to the first point. The reference comes back not just to the teachings, but also to you. You're the constant right now in this video too. You are there. You're a reference. Help others. Be strong. And I'm hoping to be a reference from here to everyone listening. And I just hope that if this is making that difference, awesome. And my goal is to help you. Now, how are you going to extend that goal from me to you moving forward? That's a beautiful thing that we're all going to wait to see. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.